What up, YouTube family? This is,
LaShonda's Fabulous Life with Kendrick.
and I'm the Kendrick.
And we're doing a Q&A. So we have a certain amount of questions and we will answer them today. And one is, how did we meet? Well, we end up meeting because, unbeknownst to me, his friend, I already knew him. His friend was going with my best friend at the time, and we were in high school. And so she thought it would be fun if we double dated. So he told me, he said, I have a friend that I would like you to meet. And he said, he's a nice guy and everything. He said that you all would probably get along good. So from my end, he was like, I'm going to bring him by so you can meet him and then you can see if you all like each other. So you have to tell your part now.
Oh, let me see. This happened. It was one evening. I was supposed to go meet my cousin at the mall. So I was leaving my grandparents' house, and I ran into my friend. His name was Lamont. So he was like, where are you getting ready to go? I was like, well, I'm going to meet my cousin at the mall, but we ain't doing too much. Just go there, then I'll probably just come back home. So he was like, let me ride with you. And I was like, nah, that's all right. I ain't going to be long. I'll be right back. He was like, just let me ride with you. So I followed him back to his parents' house. He got in the car with me. We drove up to the mall. Didn't find my cousin. Didn't have cell phones back at the time, so we drove around the parking lot for probably 15, 20 minutes. He didn't show. So I was like, well, that's it right there. I'm going to head back home. I'll drop you off. I'll go home. So on our way back down to the city, he was like, I got this female's house I want to take you by. So I was like, okay, I ain't got nothing else to do. We'll go by there. So we pulls up in the driveway. He knocks on the door. They had like in the door, it was like a glass, but it was like a little diamond shaped glass. So as he knocked on the door, she came to the door where you can see in the little glass, but she had like curlers in her hair.
I had rolled my hair.
Yeah, so she had
it was I was, when I would get home from school, my routine was I would take my bath, roll my hair, eat my food, do my homework. So I hadn't even thought nothing else about what Lamont had said. It went in one ear and out the other. So it was a surprise to me when I heard somebody knocking at the door. So I went to the door and I peeked out the door and I'm like, oh my God, he actually brought his friend over here. So I rushed back and I took out 2 rollers and fluffed my little bang. And I had my pajama gown on. It's like a t-shirt gown. So I just threw on some jeans and tucked my gown in my jeans. And then my mother was like, well, who is that? I was like, Mom, it's Burr. He came by and I said, I'm just gonna, step on the porch and, talk with him for a minute. She was like, don't go nowhere. So she came and looked out the door to see, who was out there. And then she, went back. And so I was on the porch talking. And so Lamont was like, well, here he is. Here's Kendrick. And so I was like, well, I'm LaShonda. And, of course, he said he's Kendrick. And so he was like, do you want to go out this Saturday? So I was like, his grandmother had a really cute car at the time. And he always, that's his fetish, to wash and shine a car up. So he had did the same thing for his grandmother's car. So her car was really cute and shiny. So I was impressed by the fact that he had a nice car to drive around in. So I was like, yes, I'll go out to
She's a
movies.
user.
I was like, yes, I'll go out for a movie and dinner. And so that was the end of it, because I think it was like what a Wednesday or something, or
Wednesday.
it was like
I can't remember.
I know it was
what day of
earlier
the
during the
week.
week,
Yeah.
so we had a little bit of time to wait. I think we had changed. Did we exchange numbers?
Yeah.
We exchanged numbers and stuff, and so that was that. But you can tell your part of how he looked up.
She's a user. Using my grass cutting money to take her out. So anyway, when we got to the porch, and I saw her in her little roller set, she ran to the back. I didn't tell Burr. By the way, that's my friend Lamont. That was one of his nicknames. They call him Burr. They call him Papa. All that type stuff. But anyway, I didn't tell him at the time. But this is the lady that I saw at high school that I was going to talk to, but I decided not to because she used to walk around the halls all day with her little nose up in the air. So I was like, I ain't going to even approach her. It might turn out bad. So anyway, that was almost like a month earlier. So anyway, I was like, oh. When I saw her, I'm like, that's the female I was going to talk to. But I was saying this to myself. I didn't tell him. So that's how that went. We went out. And I just assumed by us going out that we were together now. But that wasn't the case with this one.
He didn't ask. He was telling everybody in school that we was together. And I told him, no. I said, we ain't together. I said, you didn't ask me, could we go out? Are we going out? Are we a couple or nothing? And so he was like, so if somebody else would ask you out of the date, you would have went? I said I could. I could have. So he asked, and I was like, okay. But we've been together ever since. Ever since when he first showed up on my doorstep.
So you see how that went.
We was in school, and he was together every day. I mean, everywhere I was in the hall, I saw him. At my locker, I saw him.
I made my presence known.
I couldn't get away from him. We was together we've been together ever since. Yes. We've been together ever since.
And my
so ever since I was 16, I'm gonna be 46.
Until now, still we've been can't together. Get a word in.
We've been together.
And my friend that brought me to her doorstep, Lamont, he was the best man at our wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
may he rest in peace. But yes. I knew him 2 years before I met him.
And me and him grew up basically together through elementary school.
So that's how we met, on my porch, because of my best friends, my friends going out, and they wanted to, and we never did the double date. That's the killing part. No, we never double dated. And then they broke up months later, and we just stayed on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that answers that question. We met on my mama's front porch, introduced by our friend Lamont.
All right.
So next question was, what was your reaction when you found out we was pregnant? He was out of school, and I was still in school. It was my senior year, and I was a special case because
and it was my first year of college.
Yeah,
I was at SIU Edwardsville. I commuted to school.
He put me in a trick bag because I was silly. I didn't know. And so I started having symptoms of being pregnant. I was having morning sickness, and I was lightheaded, and I was so tired and sleepy, and my bosom swelled up. And so my mother asked me, she said, I had already picked out my prom dress and everything. And so it was a bad it was it was bad. Because it's my senior year. This is the time where you're supposed to go have all this fun. And because I had fun for his senior year, I had a good time. It was like it was my year. But he messed my year up. So I was like, I know, I didn't even think I could be pregnant. I thought I had some kind of ailment. So my mama was like, could you be pregnant? I was like, Mama, no, no way. I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I'm just sick. I'm sick. But it kept happening every morning. And so my sister, she was over there. And so she would be standing, she would come over there and look at me. So when I opened up the bathroom door, she would be like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I would be like, what's wrong with you? She was like, you pregnant. I said, no, I didn't believe that I was. And so I asked him, I was like, so Mom was like, are you pregnant? I was like, I'm going to ask Kendrick. So
I don't know what she asked me for.
I waited till he got home, and so I called him and I was like, Kendrick, I was like, Mama said, am I pregnant? He was like, you can tell her no.
You can tell her no.
So I proudly got off the phone. I was like, Mama, I was like, Kendrick said I'm not pregnant. Next morning, I'm throwing up. So Mom was like, you going to the doctor. I was pregnant.
Don't know how that happened.
And his grandmother, she said that she knew I was pregnant because she said this fool was over here eating pickles and sleep. And I told her what he had did.
I was just a little more tired than usual when I used to get home
his
from school.
grandmother, I said he knew what he was doing and stuff. She told me, she said, you should have never trusted him. He don't know nothing.
You can trust me.
That's how we ended up. And then we had to have a family meeting about what we gonna do as a family. So we this is back in the day where when the girl got pregnant, you had a family meeting because my daddy wanted to know, was he gonna be a responsible young man? Was he gonna take care of his responsibility?
I know I am out of here.
He gonna take care of his responsibility. So my daddy told him, he says, I'm gonna have to take care of your responsibility. I'm gonna take care of your baby. Kendrick said, I'm gonna take care of my responsibility. He went and found a job. He went and got a job. He had never had no job. But after my daddy talked to him, he went and got a job. He did all my outside chores because I used to cut the grass and all that. He cut the grass my whole pregnancy. He went and he bought food over for me. I worked during the summer too, though. But he bought food over. He got me a little maternity outfit. People used to wear maternity clothes. So I had maternity clothes that I would wear to work.
Now they just wear their regular clothes.
Yeah, they wear their regular clothes. But I used to have the cute little dresses that tie up in the back. All the little lace, my favorite maternity dress, the powder blue dress with the little lace and the little buttons and tie up in the back. I love that dress. And I had matching shoes. So it wasn't a bad experience because my mother was happy because she was like, we hadn't had a baby in the family in a while. My sister, the only one wasn't happy was I was supposed to go to California and live with my sister and experience life. And when I got pregnant, I was like, I need my mama. I can't come down there. I'm gonna have a baby. I need help. I don't know what to do. So that's how that happened. It was a good reaction. Everybody was on board. My daddy, when I had the baby, my daddy was mad at me during my pregnancy. He was disappointed. I mean, I would see disappointment on his face. But after I had the baby, he fell in love with him. So that's how that went. So it all went well.
All right.
How did we found out he was allergic to seafood?
Well, that started when I was young. My grandparents would go to a smorgasbord, and I think it was the Waltons. Was it the Waltons back then? I think it was called the
I
Waltons.
don't forgot what that place was
Yeah,
called.
but you know where I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they renamed it several
Yeah,
times.
it took on several different names after that, but at that time I think it was the Waltons or something like that. But anyway, we went up there to the smorgasbord and everything, and they had shrimp. I think I was like 7, 8, 7 or 8, and I had piled some shrimp up on my plate, along with other foods. Those foods was okay, but when I got to the shrimp, um, felt kind of itchy, my throat, and I didn't know at the time, that I was allergic to anything, let alone shrimp. So it didn't get severe. It just kept an itchy feeling like down in my throat. So but I kept on eating the shrimp. But after that, I didn't eat them anymore because I was like, I tried to narrow it down to what I had on my plate.
He fast forward. He tried to eat shrimp again when he was at work.
But that was I was much older then.
Yeah, and he
it had been years.
And he had a severe reaction.
I worked at a casino, and this was the Casino Queen, and they used to cruise up and down the Mississippi, and I was a bartender at the time, and they had the shrimp cocktails behind the bar. So I took it upon myself, I'm going on break to eat a few of them. Oh, and it was bad. Throat got itchy.
They called home to say that he was
wanted to close up.
Hold on 1 minute, guys. Nita, I'm going to call you right back after we get through filming right quick. It's my sister-in-law, guys, Nita. Oh, so I'm going to call you back. Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah.
That was the sister-in-law.
So anyway, my air passage, like it was closing up, and but we were sailing, so there was nothing we basically could do. So I had to go sit on the like the outside of the boat while it sailed, to get air and all this type stuff, and it was bad. They gave me like medical attention and all that when we made it back to dock, but from there I was like, this shrimp thing is pretty severe, because it's like that was scary.
Yes, it was, and I was concerned about him and what was going on with him. But I will say this about him: he's a true nut, guys. Because when we went camping, he decided to eat crab legs.
Well, I was like, that was shrimp. Let me see if this thing leads on to crab too.
And I told him, I said, it's of the same family. It is seafood. And we are in the middle of nowhere. We are in the woods. We are camping. And he chooses to eat crab legs, not just one or two. This man was cracking them, eating them quick. And I'm like, hold up. Is he eating crab legs over there? Because I was over somewhere else. And they was like, Daddy eating crab legs. I said, no, he not. So I go over there to him and I tell him to stop eating that stuff. It'll kill you. He was like, no, it won't. No, it won't. So he did stop though. But he went in a tent. And so they was like, you better go check on Kendrick and see if he okay, because he ate that seafood. I go in there, this food looks swollen, puffy, and irritated. He looked itchy. So we like, and he like wheezing a little. So we like, oh my God. We are filthy too. Let me add that. We out here roughing it.
Yeah, we were up at Wren Lake.
We was up there at
Illinois.
The lake. We had been cooking. We had been by the lake. We were not in the best condition to be going nowhere. We looked like we was roughing it. He smelled like a liquor cabinet, like he had poured liquor on him. It was ridiculous. So we had to get in the car. run around, drive, and try to find a hospital. By the grace of God, we found a hospital, and we had to come in the hospital looking like homeless people that were alcoholics because he smelled of liquor. But they understood. We told them we were out camping, so. But that don't excuse the liquor smell. Like, was y'all there drinking? And so they gave him the medicine and everything else. So from then on, he took it serious. So he don't deal with no seafood, none.
It ain't worth it.
He would not do it. He would not do it. So that's how his seafood thing went. Okay, how long have we been together? This year we have been together going on 29 years because our son is going to be 28 this year.
Yeah.
So we was together a year before we had him. So 29 years this year that I've been with this guy.
Ooh, that's a long time.
A long time. And how many years of marriage this year?
Now you're trying to trip me up here. I'm going to say 26 this year.
Yeah, 26 years of marriage in August. August the 6th.
August 6th.
We will be married 26 years. Together 29, married for 26 years. By the grace of God. And when we first got married,
God!
It was Miss Olivia, his grandmother.
My grandmother.
And my mother. They were some praying peoples because I was something else when we first got married, because if he didn't do nothing I wanted, I'm packing up and I'm going back home. I would call my mama. Mama, come get me. Mama, come get me. And so mama would come get me too. But finally, mama put her foot down. She told me, she said, every time that man do something that makes you mad, you can't go leaving. She said, go in another part of the house and sit down. She said, don't leave. She said, you stay there. But he would always come get me. He would always come get me and apologize. And,
back then,
get me back.
I wish they had like the first 48 at ID channel back then. Because I do watch it and study it now. They would have never found nobody.
And we are from the Illinois area. We're 4 hours away from Chicago, 4 hours away from Indiana.
And just a hop, skip, and a jump. Actually, across the water from St. Louis.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
We right at the bridge. We share a bridge
in 5 minutes.
So we'll be over in the Missouri side like that.
In St. Louis.
Yeah. Next question is, how has it been on the same channel? Much better, easier, more. We can help. He can help.
Help her. She helps me. Share content. It's just less stressful. It's just that everybody's like at a standstill since this COVID-19 stuff. So, all the content, the things that we really want to do, we can't because of the quarantine.
Can't try no new restaurants.
Yeah,
we can't go in certain stores and stuff like that. It's basically the only store you can really go to down here is Walmart, Big Lots, the grocery stores, and Old Time Pottery. They opened up Old Time Pottery. And we've been
in home improvement stores like Lowe's. We've been to Lowe's.
Just that.
No, because I bought rugs and stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
From Home Depot. Bought rugs from Menards.
Yeah, you can only improve your home.
Stuff from
only improve
Lowe's. Actually, we got plants. Did we get plants yesterday? No, we got some things to hold up our rose bush.
We was working in the yard for 2 days.
Yes,
2 days.
So that's
been
rough from the back of the yard to the front of the yard.
Yeah,
we've been putting in work. So.
Next question: are any of our kids allergic? Nope. I'm so
None
glad.
of them.
Nobody. He's the special guy here. Nobody else.
4 boys, 1 girl.
And everybody can eat shrimp and crab legs.
Except for me.
Except for him. He's that's the only thing that hinders everything him.
Yep.
So other than that, everything's fine. I have an order that came in. I have 2 separate orders. So that's my next things I will be doing. I will be doing or I may combine them and make it one, or I may make it two videos. I'm not sure, but it's been a good relationship, a good marriage. Um, I'm pretty happy. He's a decent guy. He cares of you. If something's wrong, and he's in the wrong, he will work his best to fix that. That's what I've always appreciated about him. He's always been a good, attentive guy. That's what made me fall for him. Even in high school at 16, I was 16. He was attentive. He was so attentive. I mean, you could not think he didn't want you, cause I mean, he had to, cause we was together. I mean, he was over my mama's house every day. My whole family didn't want to like him, but they ended up loving
They
him.
had no choice.
I mean,
Charming.
you had to love him. That's what I would say about him. You got to love him, cause I mean, he put in enough effort for you. You gonna love him. I don't think he can do anything other. You got to something. So, that's it.
Yeah.
If you have any more questions, that was fun. Our first Q&A.
All right. So today that is it. So if you like what you saw today, hit the like button, comment, subscribe. But most important, leave that comment so we know who you are, so we can get back to you and answer your questions.
You said it all.
All right.
Until next time.
See you later.
Bye-bye.